Welcome, welcome, family and friends to Maria Loves to Talk. You guys and gals, how are you doing? Are you doing great? Getting ready for the holidays? You getting ready for Halloween? Or should I say Halloweening? Today, tomorrow, the rest of this weekend. Again, I have talked about over and over. What have we been talking about these last 2 years or recently the last 8 months or so? Not war on drugs, war on women. All women, young, old, blue, green, red, yellow, Christian, Catholic, Muslim, Arab. There is a war on women. We've got young men, old men, middle-aged men, disabled men, rich men, poor men, educated men, uneducated men, luring, praying, not like pray, P-R-A-Y, but P-R-E-Y, attacking, plotting, and manipulating women and girls. Amarah Banks. Guys, you know the drill. Go get you some snacks. Come on back. The story is out of Milwaukee. This is from TNJ4. The search for a young Milwaukee mother and her two daughters ended tragically on Sunday when the police discovered their bodies in a garage near 47th and Baila. Now this happened in February of 2020. Okay, you guys. So this one is not current. The other one with Krista Gilly and her husband, that one just recently happened this month. 26-year-old Amarah Banks, young lady, pretty lady, 5-year-old Zananya Ivory, I-V-E-R-Y, and 4-year-old Kamara C. Banks were missing for more than a week. Dozens gathered near the scene where they were discovered to cry and pray. Meanwhile, families say they are heartbroken. Okay, so these babies and the mommy was initially thought to be missing. You got to be a heartless monster to do. My family is devastated. We're just beyond. I don't know what to even say, said Amarah's aunt, Sheila Loper. But I know I'll never get over this, not ever in my life. The three were last seen near Sherman Boulevard and Green Tree Road around 1 a.m. on February the 8th. Police say family reported Amarah missing on February the 9th. An Amber Alert was issued Saturday and was canceled Sunday afternoon. Prior to Saturday, police said that the criteria to issue the alert had not been met. I'm going to keep whining and complaining. They issue these Amber Alerts for who they want to, when they want to, just like they show the news media pick what stories they will talk about. There's some stories they never talk about. There's some stories they talk about one time and you don't hear anything more. There's some stories they talk about all day long. You'll hear that same story at 7 o'clock news, 12 o'clock news, 3 o'clock news, 6 o'clock news, and then you see it on world news on ABC with David Muir, or you'll see it on CNN, whatnot. They pick the stories that they want to tell or show for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe I guess to get clicks. Okay, so here they say you have to also understand that foul play was not an initial piece of this investigation. It was a missing investigation that escalated, said Milwaukee Police Chief Alfonso Morales. And I'm telling him, you full of it. You are full of it. You are full of, I don't know, the hamburgers, the tacos, the spaghetti, the wonton noodles, wonton dumplings. Amber Alerts is not for a person who you believe is deceased or have been deleted. What I know about Amber Alerts is for people who are missing, endangered, the missing babies, the kidnapped baby, the elderly people that walked off from the nursing home, the dementia people. So I don't understand what this man is saying, the chief of police.
Heartbroken after losing their loved ones to what police say was an act of domestic violence. Rebecca Clough was there as dozens gathered to remember a mother and her 2 young children.
Yes, Shannon, police say that domestic violence is the reason Amarah Banks and her daughters died. Right now, the father of one of the daughters is under arrest for aggravated battery. Banks' family hopes there's going to be 3 murder charges coming soon. Cries of anguish from family grieving the loss of Amarah, known as Jerica to her sisters, Banks, and her 4- and 5-year-old daughters. Banks was last seen Saturday the 8th when her sister, Tamika, says she dropped her off at her apartment.
She got in the house. I ain't pulled off until I saw a light turned off, and I didn't even pull her right exactly off. You know, I waited a moment. I thought she was fine. The next day, I'm thinking she knows that she just needs some rest, needs some time to herself.
It was shortly after a neighbor says she woke up to shouting and heard a woman scream, "Don't kill me, don't kill me." The next day, Banks' other sister went to visit her and found she was missing.
I banged on the door, I knocked on the windows, I yelled her name, still no Jerica.
An Amber Alert was issued Saturday for Jerica and her 2 daughters. The 3 of them were found dead Sunday in a garage near 47th and Burleigh. That's where a vigil was held tonight. 25-year-old Arzel Ivory went to Tennessee after she was reported missing. He appeared in court there this morning, arrested on aggravated battery charges for hurting Jerica the night she disappeared. Milwaukee police say the death of Jerica and her daughters was the result of domestic violence.
We need to start speaking up for each other. If you see something, say something there.
Jerica's family say they hope murder charges come next.
Only thing we need is just justice.
Now, we did reach out to the daycare where the children were going to. They said grief counselors were brought in for all of the kids there.
Okay, more news. Fox 6. Sentencing hearing has been scheduled for July the 16th. In September 2020, a doctor ruled Ivory's plea of not guilty by reason of mental disease defect would not be supported. So this old creature from the Black Lagoon, loser, boogaboo, demonic, I don't know what to call him. He looks like a narcissist. Like, you know, it's not my fault. I didn't really do this. Or they push me. Beautiful little pretty babies. Okay, so here prosecutors said Ivory admitted that a domestic fight escalated to the point that he strangled the 3 and then burned their bodies. I told y'all, just like that Chris Watts dude. This is almost similar as well. Because Chris Watts and his wife had 2 little girls. Okay. But this lady wasn't pregnant, but they just lost a brand new little boy, about a 1-year-old. The 3 were found in a garage near 47th Street in Burleigh. According to the criminal complaint, police spoke by phone with Ivory on February the 7th. He indicated there was a funeral for his son that he had with Miss Banks. He indicated the 2 got into an argument because Banks blamed Ivory for the death of their son. I'm curious. That's why I was trying to get more information. Why did she blame him? I read in another article that the child had asthma. He had respiratory problems. So I don't know how she could blame her husband or Mr. Ivory for and a lot of children, infants, toddlers, have asthma. Some of them grow out of it, some of them never do. Ivory told police Banks was upset and making a scene, and that he stayed for a little bit and then left to go sleep in his truck. The complaint says Ivory did not know where Banks or the children were. Ivory indicated he was out of state and that he would come back next Friday on February the 21st to be interviewed by police. Now we know he's a freaking liar, right? A freaking big fat funky liar at that. Ivory's father contacts Memphis police. Memphis police receive a call from Ivory's father on February the 15th. He stated that Ivory has confessed that he had deleted the mother of his children and his children in Milwaukee and burned the bodies. How do you burn the body? I don't even want to think about, just when you burn bacon, when you burn your ground beef and you're making hamburger patties. I get emotional if I think I have run over a bird or a squirrel when I'm driving on the street. 2 babies, your babies, who trust daddy. Daddy is always a little girl's superhero. He's her Batman, Superman. He's your protector. Search warrant of Banks' apartment. The complaint against Ivory says on February the 15th, Milwaukee police obtained a search warrant for Banks' apartment. A trained cadaver dog was brought into the children's bedroom, and the dog detected an odor of decomposing human remains. Forensic investigators also detected the presence of human blood inside a closet in the room. Ivory's statement to Milwaukee police. When interviewed by a Milwaukee police officer who traveled to Memphis, the complaint indicates Ivory said things had been tense between himself and Banks since the death of their son. He said that Banks had not wanted him around anymore because he reminded her of their son. At this point, this is me talking, you guys. It's not the police. I'm just thinking out loud. All we have is his word. The lady is not here to give her side of the story. The children are not here to give their side of the story, what they heard mommy and daddy fussing about. All we got to go on is him, and most likely he's lying. The funeral for the son was on February the 7th, and afterward Ivory indicated he went to work. When he went to the Banks' apartment around 1:30 a.m. on February the 8th, the complaint said Banks was angry that Ivory had gone to work and yelled at him that he did not care about the death of their son. Ivory claimed that he and Banks had an argument, and he then grabbed Banks and pushed her head into the wall 2 times. Ivory then indicated he strangled Banks with both hands. He did her again, just like this other dude. Okay, remember the one we just talked about? Krista Gillies' husband in the Heights. That's what and I saw somewhere on one of these shows where the detective said it takes a lot of emotion and strength when a person is using their hands to hurt a person, to take a person's life, versus them taking, I don't know, I guess a gun or getting a stick, but you to just take your hands and do that to someone. The complaint says Ivory then stated he did not want the children to live in a world where they did not have their mother. He indicated he then strangled both the children. I got to read this again because it's not making sense. The complaint says Ivory then stated he did not want the children to live in a world where they did not have their mother. He indicated he then strangled both the children. The complaint says Ivory then tried to hide the bodies of all 3 by burning them. Ivory also told detectives he planned on starting a new life in Memphis and admitted that he told his father that he had deleted Banks and the 2 children. That's a cold son of a gun, or should I say that's a cold son of a biscuit. I'm glad his father was a good man, a Christian man, a man with a conscience, that he turned his son in, because we've got people out here knowing their kids, young and old, teenagers, whatnot, are committing crimes, and the parents look the other way and help them escape to Mexico or to South America, So this man was a stand-up father. I guess he was like, I can't believe I created this loser. And then delete it.
It was a shocking crime. Amarah Banks and her 4- and 5-year-old daughters, Anaya and Kamaria, murdered. Their bodies discovered burned in an abandoned Northside garage. Their killer, Banks' boyfriend, 27-year-old Arzel Ivory. He confessed to strangling Banks and then strangling each of the little girls before fleeing the state. For the first time on Friday, Banks' brother confronted Ivory in court.
How dare you be a callous, cold, and evil person to do this? Evil is being sentenced here today, and that evil is you.
Valeria Spinner Banks also spoke directly to the man who killed her daughter and granddaughters.
Arzel, we treated you like a son. How dare you do this to us? How dare you rip out all of our hearts? I felt like I had to address him. We just couldn't understand, why he did this.
Facing a mandatory life sentence, the only question was whether Ivory would ever be eligible for parole. He read a brief statement.
I know what I did has affected the world. I know I can't change anything by what I say, but I am truly sorry, and I regret everything I did.
Judge Stephanie Rothstein questioned the sincerity of Ivory's remorse and ruled that he should never again be free, sentencing him to life without the possibility of parole.
Today was an ending, but there's still no closure. Justice was served, but there's no closure.
And Kent, we understand the family is taking some steps to try to bring that closure and possibly help others.
Yeah, that's right. They're working with the Sojourner Family Peace Center here in Milwaukee, which helps victims of domestic violence, hoping to make a difference for others. They've also commissioned a stained glass window of Jerica and her 2 little girls that will be placed there at Sojourner Family Peace Center.
I'm going to have to delete my grandbabies. I'm looking at some more information. AP News. They're saying that... I guess this is recent. July 16, 21. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Thank goodness. He's still complaining that the woman was mad that he went to work as a security guard soon after the funeral of his 1-year-old son, Arzel Ivory Jr., died January 2020 from respiratory problems, according to an autopsy report. So the poor little baby had respiratory problems. Why would... I'm not understanding. Most places will give you 3 days. It used to be people would get like 2 weeks of bereavement, then they dropped it to 1 week, and now in some places they give you 3 days. Why would a person go to work on the day of your child's funeral? Why? I would be mad and upset too if I was the mom. I'm expecting you and us as the family to be together, to be in prayers, being huddled together, you comforting me. But instead you pick up your behind and you go to work, and then he gets off and, I'm here. I guess he was looking for her to have something for him to eat. And then he got mad because she's coming at him, yeah, any woman would do that. I'm surprised she stayed at the house, because I think I would have picked up myself and went to my mama's house or locked the door and he wouldn't have been able to come in. I don't know. I'm just saying it. So here, I'm reading from here because you know me, I'm nosy. I need more information, you guys. I need more information. He kissed Zania, who was his daughter. Told her, Daddy loves you. And that her mother wanted to be in heaven with her. And then he strangled her, the complaint said. Boy, that's a cold-hearted man. That's a cold-hearted devil. Well, we know he's a devil. That's a cold-hearted, no good for nothing boogaboo. Ivory returned to the girl's bedroom, woke up Amarah, kissed her and told her the same thing before strangling her too. Now, I know I saw where one of the aunts or one of the relatives said one of the girls was his. I saw here where someone said in the comments that the lady ran to a neighbor's house and the neighbor wouldn't help her. So here it's saying, court record says, after a neighbor called 911 to report that Banks was screaming and begging not to be deleted as Ivory dragged her back into an apartment building after she tried to escape. One neighbor said Banks was running without shoes and bleeding from the mouth. One witness said she heard thumping as if someone was slamming a person or head against the wall. Police later found a head-sized hole in the wall of the bedroom, as well as a bed missing its comforter and a napkin with blood on it. You guys, this is unbelievable. It's unbelievable that we've got people in this day and age will see a woman. I'm looking at 3 or 4 so-called neighbors. I saw this. I see this. This said this. She said that. He did that. And nobody ran across or hollered and said stop. Nobody had, a Wesson, AK something, or a stick or a baseball bat to say, man, let this woman go. Nobody did that. And then the police did not get there right away, because if they did, they would have caught him in the act. Because in another, somewhere I read, I will post the comments like I normally do, but I'm not going to read it because it's just too gross. It says where he's telling them how he went to try to dismember the lady body and how he tried to cut or remove the leg and he couldn't do the leg or remove the leg. How can you do this to someone that you've loved, you've had babies with, you've had good times, you celebrated Christmas, you celebrated Valentine's, y'all did things with each other's families? How can it turn to that? If you was mad or upset or didn't love this lady anymore, just remove yourself from the equation. Get your little suitcase and go move to Mexico, New York, Oregon, Montana, into a cave. Why did you have to take this woman out and her babies? Sad. You guys, we got to lift these people up in prayers. I know the angels have this woman and her babies, but let them be able to rest in peace and that justice is justice. Can we really say justice was served? Yeah, he got life in prison, but can we really say that is that enough? I guess it's going to have to be enough. You guys, it's too sad.